Hey, it's Koala OM, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be discussing the worst gem plants in Plants vs Zombies 2. If you like this video, be sure to check out the other 3 videos I've made that are similar to this one. I made a video about the best premium plants that cost money, the worst money premium plants, the best gem plants, and now to conclude it, the worst gem plants. So yeah, if you want to see the other videos, they'll be linked in the description. So let's get into it. The worst gem plants in Plants vs Zombies 2. Remember, these are in no particular order. I just picked out 3 gem plants that I think probably aren't worth your gems. So let's get straight into it. To kick things off, we have the electric currant. This plant used to be an award for beating an epic quest like the gold bloom, but now it's just a gem plant that costs 100 gems like all the other ones. The electric currant has been buffed, but I still feel it's a little awkward to use. Once you connect up electric currents, they make kind of an electric gate that prevents zombies from passing through. But I can find it can be a little bugged sometimes, and also it's a little awkward to use. You're better off just using attacking plants that just shoot from a range. I don't know, the electric current's just a little inconsistent. So yeah, that's why the electric current probably not worth your gems. You're probably not going to use it that much. So for our next plant, we have the peanut. The peanut was released with Dark Ages Part 2, and it's a really weird combination of the pea shooter and the walnut. It sounds like a pretty good idea, like, oh, it's a defensive and offensive plant, but I feel that plants that focus on just offense or just defense really get the job done. For example, if you want to use a defensive plant, use something like the Infinite or the Primal Walnut, or just the regular walnut even. They all do a fine job. And if you want to use an offensive plant, use something like Winter Melons or Dusk Lobbers. The peanut's just that weird grey area in between, and I find that since it is ranged, but it's also like a walnut, you don't really know where to put it, do you? Do you put it all the way to the left of the lawn so it's far away from the zombies so it can shoot them? Or do you put it right up to the zombies so that it can actually block them, but then also its range isn't really being used? So the peanut's just a cool concept, but it doesn't really work in my opinion. And finally, for this list of 3 worst gem plants, we have the homing thistle. Now, I don't actually think that the homing thistle is all that bad. It's just that most of the gem plants are really good, and the homing thistle is just kind of average. And I really needed to fill out 3 plants because if it was just 2 plants, the video wouldn't really be very detailed, would it? So the homing thistle, in my opinion, isn't a bad gem plant. It's just towards the bottom compared to the others. It's still a good plant in my opinion. It got me all the way through Big Wave Beach back in the day when it was released. Regardless, the homing thistle does have some flaws, like, for example, it only targets 1 zombie at a time. In Plants vs Zombies 2, a game with a large, just sheer amount of zombies in every wave, you're really going to be wanting to use splash damage plants. But the homing thistle does do a lot of damage, so it can quickly kill zombies, but I find that just splash damage plants, offensive splash damage plants, usually just do a better job than just single targeting ones like pea shooters and the homing thistle. Also, the homing thistle doesn't really do much for itself either, for defending itself. If there's a zombie eating the homing thistle, but then there's a zombie on a different lane that's closer to your house, it won't try and stop the zombie from killing it, it'll target the zombie that's going to the house. Whilst that can save you, it also destroys the homing thistle, and there goes your 200 odd sun. So the homing thistle can be a bit clunky to use, but I still feel it's a pretty good plant. It's just that all the other gem plants are really amazing. But I do think that the electric currant and the peanut are definitely bad plants. Just the homing thistle's average in my opinion. So that's going to conclude our worst gem plants video. If you liked it, I'd seriously recommend checking out my other 3 videos like this that I've linked in the description. So yeah, thanks for watching and see ya.